Coming up next, Episode 5, Dr. Robert's Countdown, the top 11 songs from 1966. What if we could go back, to a time, to a moment, to a song? There is a fifth dimension. It is an area which we call the quick spin zone.
I don't know how to put this, but kind of a big deal.
From the new Mother Nature studio, here's your host, Dr. Robert.
Thank you, Jaime. Best sidekick in the business. And you are in the zone. Welcome to this edition of Quick Spin. And we'll count down the top 11 songs that marked the year in rock and roll. So, without any further ado, let's fire up the time machine and go for a little ride.
Activating hyperdrive.
1966. This content is made for the enjoyment or education of viewers, rather than for the sole purpose of getting views. Please hit like and subscribe. Number 11.
Let's get our kicks. We've got the script for 1966. Here's the Spencer Davis group setting the place on fire with Gimme Some Lovin', and a teenager on vocals. This song was written by the group's lead singer, Steve Winwood. You had Steve on keyboards, his older brother Muff on bass, Pete York is the drummer, and guitarist Spencer Davis. He was chosen as the group's namesake because he was the only one willing to do interviews. Winwood says they banged it out in the studio on the first or second take. The song also written on the fly. Muff told Rolling Stone magazine, Steve had been singing, Gimme Some Lovin', just yelling anything. And it took an hour to write, then down to the pub for lunch. Steve played a Hammond B3 organ on this track, which became one of the most recognizable organ riffs in rock. Covered by too many to name, but the Blues Brothers were one of them. Steve went on to tremendous success in America as a solo artist. He scored 2 huge hits in the mid-'80s with Higher Love and Roll With It. Did you know Steve Winwood might be the only musician to ever session for Jimi Hendrix and Christina Aguilera? We might have to look that up.
Number 10.
Now for the quintessential 60s California band. Here's the Mamas and the Papas with their signature hit, California Dreamin'. In a 2002 interview, Michelle Phillips explained how this song came about. It was 1963, and she was newly married to John. They were living in New York City, which was having a particularly cold winter, at least by Michelle's standards, as she was from sunny California. John would walk around the apartment at night, working out tunes, and one morning brought the first verse of the song to Michelle. The words inspired by their homesickness, Michelle wrote the lyrics, "Well, I got down on my knees and I pretend to pray." But Cass Elliot had been singing "Began to Pray," even into the tour until corrected by Michelle. One of the more misheard lyrics comes in the second verse of this song. Is often mistaken as "The Preacher Lights the Coal." The song went on to be the year-end Billboard #1. California Dreamin' became a signpost of the California sound.
Dr. California Dreamin' has remained a popular song frequently featured in film soundtracks. While younger generations continue to perform their own covers of the classic hit. Number 9.
Here's a band from LA talking about Boston and the River Charles, an anthem for New England sports teams. It's Dirty Water by the Standells. This one's about the notoriously polluted Charles River in Boston, which had become a receptacle for industrial waste. The song comes off as a celebration of Boston, not an ecological warning. It may be dirty, but it's their home, and they love it anyway. The Standells were an LA garage band. The song was written by their producer Ed Cobb, another Californian, once a member of the Four Preps, and wrote the song Tainted Love. I bet a lot of you didn't know that. Recorded by the soul singer Gloria Jones in 1964, but a hit for the electro group Soft Cell in 1981. The line, "Frustrated women have to be in by 12 o'clock," refers to the curfew observed by Boston University co-eds at the time. This song is now considered a classic of the garage rock genre. And you can't go to a Patriots, Bruins, Sox, or Celtics game without hearing Dirty Water. What's your favorite rock anthem played at your team's stadium or arena? Welcome to the jungle, Eye of the Tiger, Kiss 'em Goodbye. Let us know in the comment box.
Looking for the quintessential classic rock channel? This isn't just another classic rock channel. This is designed to be the ultimate experience for rock fans young and old. Cliff Notes style for the ADHD in all of us. And the fastest, most comprehensive rock and roll countdown show. Oh, and with info bubbles.
This day in rock history.
And did we mention the host? Dr. Robert. And each episode with a mystery rocker.
What?
Music news.
Overnight, flames reaching the iconic Malibu neighborhood.
And rock trivia. And music polls with posts for your opinions. Tell them you heard it on the X. Back to the countdown. Number 8.
Here's the iconic Neil Diamond with a song about Cherry Cherry. They've got some catching up to do, and they're gonna make their own lightning. She got the way to move me, Cherry. She got the way. Well, you know you love Neil Diamond. And in an interview with Melody Maker, Jeff Berry said that this song...
Dr. Jeff Berry helped and produced this iconic track, but Neil
Jeff
Diamond
Berry
is the
said
only
that-
credited songwriter on this tune.
Jaime! This song was originally called Money Money, but that he and Bang Records owner Burt Burns convinced Diamond to make it lighter and more teen-friendly. They were onto something with the original title. In 1968, Tommy James and the Standells released Money Money. Ever notice that there are no drums in this song? That's because the version you hear was intended as a demo, with hand claps providing the drum beat. We got things we got to catch up on. When this became a hit, Diamond's songs were in demand. This led to the Monkees' recording of Diamond's I'm a Believer. Saw her face. Now I'm a believer. What do you like to sing, whether it's karaoke night or maybe just by yourself in the car or in the shower? Sweet Caroline, Don't Stop Believin', Brown Eyed Girl, Hotel California. If you've got the time, drop us a line.
Number 7.
There will never be a time quite like this in the history of music. Here's the association with the psychedelic hit, Along Comes Mary.
And then along comes Mary.
This was the first hit for the association, who gained a following in LA, but had a hard time getting a record deal. Many people interpreted this as an ode to marijuana, which is also known as Mary Jane. They were probably right. The song was produced by Bones Howe, who would later work on most of the hits for the Fifth Dimension. The association had a long and troubled association with drugs, and a lot harder than Mary Jane. In the 60s, drugs were everywhere, Bones said. As a producer, you had to find ways of getting around that. You'd work in the daytime, not at night. They signed to a small label called Valiant Records, And the label was rewarded when this became a hit and when their follow-up Cherish went to number 1. Oh, and by the way, welcome to the age of psychedelic rock. Kind of a harbinger of what was to come for the rest of the decade. And now my empty cup tastes as sweet as the punch. Some of us know what that means. If you do, let us know in the comment box.
This day in rock history.
In 1966, the Baltimore Orioles swept the Los Angeles Dodgers in 4 games to capture their first championship in franchise history, while Johnny Rivers' Secret Agent Man was hitting the charts.
Secret agent man.
Thunderball with 007 and Our Man Flint each brought their own unique interpretation to the role of super spy. But on September 23, 1966, the Rolling Stones kicked off their 1966 tour at the Royal Albert Hall in London, supported by Ike and Tina Turner and the Yardbirds, and this song, leading the Billboard Hot 100 charts for 2 straight weeks, the fabulous trio from Motown Records. Coming in at number 6, The Supremes with You Can't Hurry Love. The trio's first chart toppers had incredibly all arrived within the space of 15 months, from Stop in the Name of Love in August of 1964 to I Hear a Symphony in November 1965. The 1966 smash hit had the working title This Is Where I Came In, before the writers Holland Dozier Holland found the lyric they wanted. Motown released You Can't Hurry Love on July 25th, and on September 4th, the single became the Supremes' 7th number 1 effort. Of course, the song wouldn't have been quite what it became without the performance of this fabulous trio. Diana Ross was only 22 years old when she sang the song, and yet she sounds infinitely wise in passing along the advice of her elders. Just throw this record on, and get lost in the combined brilliance of all those involved, and maybe take a second to heed the advice it yields. Number 5.
Here's one of the greatest romancers of his era, Percy Sledge, When a Man Loves a Woman.
When a man loves a woman.
This song has a huge part in music history. It's the first number 1 Hot 100 hit recorded in Muscle Shoals, Alabama, where Aretha Franklin, the Rolling Stones, and many other famous musicians would later record some of their biggest hits. Sledge was an orderly at Colbert County, Alabama Hospital in the daytime and sang with the local band, the Esquires Combo, at night. As Sledge tells it, one night while performing with the Esquires Combo, he was upset about a woman. Shocking. Aren't we all, Percy? A broken relationship, so upset that he couldn't concentrate on the music he was supposed to sing.
When a man loves a woman.
He was so overcome with emotion as the group started their set in a Sheffield, Alabama club, he just poured out his emotions, and so the legendary love song was born. Do you have a favorite breakup song? Heard it through the grapevine? Time for Me to Fly by REO Speedwagon? Sure, it's a little bit me, but it's a little bit you, too. Yeah, I've got a few. Like and subscribe.
Number 4.
Now for a man who was the man during his parlance in time. Here's Donovan with Sunshine Superman. And he ain't got nothing on me.
Sunshine came softly through my...
Donovan first met his future wife, Linda Lawrence, back in 1965 when she was recovering from a broken relationship with Rolling Stones founding member Brian Jones. The pair dated briefly, but not wanting the scrutiny and the uncertainty of being a pop star's girlfriend all over again, Lawrence broke it off at the end of the year. Donovan responded with this song.
You're gonna be mine, I know it. We'll do it in style. When you've made your mind up that you're
It's It's not a normal love song, the singer told Mojo magazine, June 2011. On the face of it, the song is about being with Linda again. But sunshine is a nickname for acid, the Superman in the person capable of entering higher states, because it's not easy to go into the fourth dimension and see the matrix of the universe in which everything is connected. This guy was pretty much ahead of his time. One additional note, Jimmy Page played lead guitar on this song. He used to get the greatest work in the mid-60s as a session musician.
Sunshine came softly
Number 3.
Hey, it took me years to... Jaime, what are you doing? Do not touch that button. Jaime, don't touch it. Son of a...
Sorry, Doctor.
Guys, stop.
I think the sun is getting to your circuits.
Sorry about that, Chief. We want this to be as interactive as possible. Please leave a comment. Vote for your favorite band logos on Logo Madness, or try and stump the panel with your mystery rocker clues. Maybe sometime soon you'll be featured on a future quick spin to the past. Now back to Dr. Robert.
Burning down the midnight oil on the overnight. We reach out to West Texas. Let's hear from Angelique in El Paso Paul.
Fire it up and have a good time. Be safe, y'all. God bless.
Greetings from the Sun City, El Paso, Texas.
Tell us about today's mystery rocker.
This garage band with an organ-driven punk rock sound formed in Michigan in 1962. The inspiration for the band name came from a 50s sci-fi film, and the frontman always punctuates his mark. Who are these mystery rockers?
While we ponder the clues from El Paso Paul, let's go back to the countdown.
Number 3.
Hey, it took me years to write, and will you take a look? Here's Paul and the Beatles' Paperback Writer.
Paperback writer.
Now, a lot of you don't know this, but way before I wanted to be a doctor, I mean, not a real doctor, I just play one on the X, but way before I ever put on the lab coat, what I really wanted to be was a writer. And this song is after my own heart, and Paul does a great job, and like always, the Fab Four knock it out of the park. The song is sung from the perspective of an author soliciting a publisher. A paperback is cheaper than a traditional hardcover book, and at the time was considered of lower quality and written for mass consumption. The implication is that the writer isn't all that good, but don't tell that to Paul. About this time, the Beatles had had enough with touring and couldn't make many TV appearances to perform the song. This made it very difficult to promote the single, so they commissioned a film clip that could be shown on these programs, unwittingly creating one of the first music videos. How about that? In your opinion, who's the most overrated band of all time? Let us know in the comment box.
Number 2.
About the time we start to see the rock, even the pop music world spin into the age of psychedelia. I don't know where, but she sends me there. Here's the Beach Boys with Good Vibrations.
I love the colorful clothes you wear.
Another summer in the sun in SoCal for the Beach Boys, the king of the surf scene, with my personal favorite, Good Vibrations. Actually released October of '66. But you know, it's always summertime when you're a Wilson. Brian Wilson called this song a pocket symphony and experimented with it over the course of 17 recording sessions. At the time, it was the most expensive pop song ever recorded, costing around $50,000 to make. According to Brian, Capitol Records didn't want to release this as a single because they thought it was too long at 3 minutes 35 seconds. He pleaded with them to put it out. He felt vindicated when it shot to the top of the charts.
Let's go. Take 5, Good Vibration.
I'm picking up good vibrations. She's giving me excitation.
Most of the Beach Boys songs feature the vocals of either Mike Love or his cousin Brian Wilson. But Carl was the lead singer on this one. Beach Boy drummer Dennis Wilson was initially tagged to sing the lead vocal, but eventually Brother Carl was chosen. Dennis claimed to have played the organ on the na 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 na. That's him. If you were around for the 60s, tell us maybe your most fond memories. Maybe we will feature your comments on a future Quick Spin to the Past. Like and subscribe.
Quick Spins bonus segment.
Jaime's unsung track. The Beatles with Yellow Submarine. The genesis of Yellow Submarine as a song came in early 1966, as the band were preparing songs for their seventh album, Revolver. Traditionally, a Beatles album would include a Ringo song, designed to please fans of the Beatle drummer. Paul McCartney was thinking about such a song and started making a story, sort of an Ancient Mariner, telling the young kids where he'd lived. There are whimsical touches all over the place, such as the line, "Many more of them live next door." How, pray tell, does one live next door to a submarine? And then there's the fact that this sub has room enough to include an entire band that can strike up music on a whim. Yellow Submarine was released as a double-A-sided single, alongside the massively different Eleanor Rigby. It proved to be yet another in the band's long line of massive hits. And 2 years later, it provided the perfect inspiration for the Beatles' first ever animated film. Revolver marked a turning point for the Beatles. The 1966 album ushered in the band's penchant for musical unpredictability. But among the trove of unearthed gems from Revolver include demos of Yellow Submarine, as a drastically stripped-down ballad featuring John Lennon on plaintive vocals rather than a more upbeat version with Ringo Starr. With all the sound effects added throughout the track, it must have been one of the most unusual Beatles sessions ever. But the boys loved every minute of it.
In the town
Doctor.
where I was born,
Stop it.
lived a man.
That's it, I'm out of here.
Riff raff.
The riff of the year. Dr. Roberts' honorable mention.
Baby, you can drive my car, and I want it painted black. Wow, thing. Town, summer in the city, back of my neck getting dirt and gritty. Cherish is the word I used. I fought the law, and the law one keeps just keep getting harder to find. And all you love. Then I saw her face. Now I'm a believer.
Now back to Dr. Robert.
Today's mystery rocker, Question Mark and the Mysterians. And here's their famous one-hit wonder, the number one song of 1966, 96 Tears. And you're gonna cry, 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 cry. This song was written by Question Mark, the band's frontman who wanted to be anonymous. He's listed on the computer credits as Rudy Martinez. Rudy fashioned himself more dancer than singer. The name Mysterians came from the youngster's favorite sci-fi film. At one point, they only refer to themselves as Question Mark X, Y, and Z. The mystery helped market the group, who wore dark glasses to add to the intrigue. Note that Rudy's not the one crying the 96 tears. Hell no. He's been dumped. He plans to get revenge by reuniting so he can dump her back. I thought I came up with that. That's when she'll be crying the 96 tears. You're gonna be right down there, looking up. The organ riff on this song is one of the most recognizable in rock. and helped define the sound of that era. On the song, you can hear the band's keyboard player Frank Rodriguez using a Vox Continental. This trashy bar band sound would later become vintage. Many musicians use a Vox or Farfisa to get a retro sound, similar to Dirty Laundry by Don Henley. Hearing this sound causes a rush of nostalgia for those of a certain age. You'll get there one day too. Thank you so much for joining us, and I can't wait to see you on a future quick spin to the past. Until then, music is a doctor. I just play one on the X.
We're sorry, the number you have dialed is not in service at this time.
Wait. One more thing. When on I Heard It on the X, check out the community page. That section is also known as Posts. It has music-related polls that you can vote and voice your opinion.
You're still here? It's over. Go home.
I Heard It on the X.
Ladies and gentlemen, The Beatles!
All right, Elvis has left the building.
Thanks for watching. Tell them you heard it on the X.